What's up, team? This is Coach Abraham checking in with our muscle strength and conditioning. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on what the youth athlete needs to be working on. And youth can be anything from under 18 years old and as soon as the athlete is ready to train. So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
Yeah, top of the morning, I know that you thought I was dormant. Woke up early for shots that was swarming the block.
So the first thing I want to talk about whenever you are training a young athlete, and again, whenever you are under 18 years old, even if you're 17, your training age, whether it's lifting, sprinting, jumping, your training age is still pretty low. You still have so many years to develop. And I will be pointing out what the difference is between somebody who's maybe 12 years old and somebody who's 17 years old. So let's begin with what does training comprise of? And the main goal is exposure and long-term development. Whenever you train, you may see results pretty quickly, but the end goal is long-term. If we focus on the long-term development, you're gonna have good productivity over your career and longevity. And what that just means is if you train smart, you're gonna have a long and healthy career. So there's 4 key aspects I wanna talk about, and that's sprinting, jumping, throwing, and strength. So initially, I got the sprint, jump, and throw from Mike Boyle. I don't know if he's the creator of it, but that's where I got it from. One of my colleagues put me onto that, and it's so simple. If you're an athlete and you're focusing on those 3 things, you will notice an improvement. When in doubt, play it simple. And there's nothing more simple than actually just developing the overall athlete, which is then gonna contribute on to the pitch. So let's begin with sprinting, and I have my notes right here in case you see me turning. So with sprinting, you want exposure from a very young age. The sooner you can get the kids sprinting from 8 years old, 7 years old, 6 years old, as soon as you can get them, probably even younger, as soon as you can get them sprinting, the better, which is gonna carry over to their overall athletic development so much faster. This is why you see some kids that are 10 years old which are so athletic, so explosive, and I come across that a lot. For example, I have a kid playing in the MLS youth system. He's 10 years old, one of the most athletic kids I've ever seen. I have another 10-year-old who's not as athletic. Whenever his strength finally got up, everything else came with it. Now he's more explosive, now he can jump, now he's sprinting a whole lot faster. So we all know that there is a genetic limit.
Just wanted to mention real quick that the drills you see here on the screen are not necessarily the high central nervous system stressing exercises, but still great exercises to include for reactiveness and overall movement exposure.
So we all know that there is a genetic limit to what an athlete can do. And some research is starting to show, but it's not completely conclusive, but it's starting to show that if an athlete starts at a very, very young age, I'm talking about like 5, 6, 7 years old, there is a chance that that athlete can break those limits because we are already activating that central nervous system. And if you don't know, the central nervous system is the key component to sprinting fast, jumping high, and being strong. So if we develop that at a very young age, and to put it into more simple terms, if we are developing those fast twitch muscle fibers for a footballer, you're gonna see that carry over onto the pitch like crazy. Now jumping. Jumps can include jumps, which is 2-leg, bounding, going from one leg to the other, and hop, a hop going from that same single leg to that same single leg. Okay, and the byproduct is gonna be power. Now we're introducing ACL prevention, balance. You're gonna see all these things are gonna come into play. And again, it's very simple things. You don't need to be going box jumps, depth jumps, like straight off the bat. If you keep it simple, especially if you have a young training age, you're gonna see your power and your athleticism really develop. This applies whether you're 8 years old or even up to 18 years old. But again, it will vary. Once we start hitting a pretty high maturity level, that's where things start to change, but not so much as you would think. Really, it's in the weight room. That's where things really start to change, but I'll go over that in just a second. The next thing, throwing, like medicine balls. I like to do granny tosses, push presses, rotational throws, all that good stuff. And the reason that is so good, and everybody should be doing this, right? Everything I'm going over today, whether you're pro or young, everybody needs to be doing all of this right here. Throwing is good because it allows and teaches you how to use your whole body, how to link everything up. Remember, a movement, whenever we are training, it's not just one muscle working. Everything is in is in unison. We need to know how to sync things up. We need to know how to produce power from the hips, which is going to help us maybe rotate our core better, which is going to just transfer onto all the movements, guys. Kicking, decelerating, sprinting. Again, everything is connected, and that's how we need to be thinking of exercises whenever we do them, whether it's in the gym or on the field. Again, if you are throwing stuff, now we're also teaching our body how to produce forces at high velocity. So rate of force development, aka power. And like we know, power is going to carry over to everything else. And the last thing I want to talk about is strength. Is body weight better or is lifting weights better? The great place to start, especially for the young athlete, is mastering body weight. Now, that doesn't mean if you're pro, you shouldn't be doing body weight. I know guys that can't even do a simple plank for 45 seconds, like on the side. And, you know, that's body weight right there. And other things that we can do is like split squats, lunges, RDLs. If a young athlete, whether you're 15 or 8 years old, doesn't know how to do that, that's a great place to start, because now we're teaching movement quality. Movement quality is going to carry over definitely to the pitch. If an athlete moves well, he's going to be more comfortable with his body, and hopefully now they can really go at 100%. Master your body weight. From there, once we get a little bit older and we're for sure mature enough to actually use weights, then we can start going into more complex things like barbell back squats, things like that. If you are still very, very young and are scared of getting on the barbell back squat, do a goblet squat. You're still pushing, you are still producing forces in the vertical aspect. So things like that. And the most important thing about strength, and research does show us that strong athletes are faster. Strong athletes can produce power better and are definitely more coordinated and more balanced. So if we increase our strength, our rate of force production increases. And what does that mean again? That means our power is going to increase as well, which is going to carry over to everything I just mentioned. So let me give you a quick example. I have a kid. We started training whenever we were 9 years old. His movement quality wasn't there. Once he started training with me, I started seeing things that he had never been exposed to. Maybe he was never taken to the playground. Maybe he was never introduced a whole lot of sports. For many of us, that was a norm. But in today's society, maybe more in Western society, it may not happen as much. And you can tell the kids that started running, jumping at a very young age. But going back to my example, this 9-year-old kid, he couldn't even do a simple split squat. He couldn't do a split squat isometric hold. He wasn't the fastest. He didn't jump the highest. As soon as we started progressing, it's about to be a year already. I've seen his speed go up like insane. His strength, his power, everything is going up. He's getting more balanced. Whenever I got him, he used to trip on the ball. Rarely do I see him do that now. He's getting more comfortable. And of course, that also has to do with age. Now he's maturing, but because we're also being very consistent, right? These qualities are going to improve at a much and faster rate in comparison to if he was only doing training with his team or any type of like individual work. Now, for my high school athlete, let's say I get somebody who's 15 years old. We will still do body weight, but so those guys and girls can already do body weight stuff, and it's fairly easy. So now we start introducing load, split squats, lunges, still doing pull-ups, all planks, dead bugs. Maybe we start introducing some back squats if I see, oh, hey, this person can do a clean goblet squat, their technique is good. It's really as simple as that. Again, if their strength goes up, the rate of force development goes up, and their power goes up, and that's how we are able to transfer that onto the pitch. And guys, that's pretty much it. Watch this video a couple of times and really try to digest this type of information. What I'm giving you is nothing new. It's nothing breakthrough. This is what you can find in books. If you do want to learn a little bit more about this stuff, check this book out. Here are just some of my books. These aren't all right here. This book right here, we have Strength and Conditioning for Young Athletes. This is one of the main ones that has helped me really elevate my youth training. As you may know, I do train professionals. I do train young athletes. And if you're a young athlete, I think what's important to ask is not what the professionals are doing, but what should a young athlete be doing? Because that's going to be very different. If you develop those qualities needed to be that professional, you're gonna get there much faster. It's like sometimes kids think that you need a Vertimax to really get explosive when you have everything you need in your backyard. Another one, very, very simple. This is getting into weight training. This one right here, super simple. What's funny is that whenever I picked this up, I already knew everything, but it was good as a mind refresher. Definitely pick this one up. These two up right here. And just FYI, this is what I'm reading right now. I'm getting a little bit more in depth on the biomechanics side again. It's been a minute since I did that. I haven't looked into this since my undergrad. In case you didn't know, I do have a master's degree as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, comment any questions you may have, subscribe for more high quality content. My online programs are out. Don't miss out on my in-season program if you're an advanced athlete in season, still wanting to maintain and actually increase your strength, speed, and power, and fitness, and ankle health, and knee health. It's endless, guys. And mobility, and nutrition. It keeps going. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. Also, hey, guys, these shirts. By the time you're watching these are probably already in stock and on my website, so make sure that you check them out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.